This episode is brought to you by Polestar, a car brand designing a future that's 100% electric. Polestar is saying no for all the right reasons. No empty promises, because Polestar turns visions into reality. No greenwashing, because their words are set in stone. No conquering Mars, because Earth is their priority. No compromises, because the planet deserves real action. Get the full story and explore the Polestar 2 at polestar.com.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
And happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners. And if you're not an American, well, then just hello, happy. My name is Nick.
Hey, every reason to be happy.
That's right. Well, I can think of one reason not to be happy today, but I'll let the listeners figure that out.
Yeah, let's take a moment to just pause and consider how the people around you and the country you call home came to be. How about that? And whether or not that instills warm fuzzies or a haunted house full of horrors committed to other humans.
Or both.
Or both.
Both can be true. Wait, yeah, tomorrow as this releases is Thanksgiving, so hope, Buster, you got your giant-ass turkey eggs ready.
They're speckled, they're beautiful, and I'm ready to eat them.
Yeah, and you overpaid for them, too. But for the new listeners out there, I'm Nick Amell. I'm the host. I'm joined by some guy. It's not really that important. He's mostly just a warm body here to laugh at my jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you're new here, this is the podcast where we explore a new top 10-ish list every week. Join me today in guessing the top 10 items on a list to be revealed here in a few moments by my sidekick host, Dr. Buster. Again, not really that important who the sidekick host is, but today it is Dr. Buster.
Now wait, if my job is to laugh at your jokes, eventually you will tell jokes I can laugh at? Because all the times I've been on this show before, it hasn't really happened.
You might not be laughing at my jokes, but that's just because you have a bad sense of humor.
Right. The problem lies with me.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Absolutely. Buster, as the folks just heard, I don't know what the list is today, so let's hope it's worthwhile. Tell it to me.
No, I won't.
Great.
Instead, I'm going to ask you, Nick, what is a quote from the 10-ish podcast do you think is notable? You know, if the fans out there, if the listeners of the 10-ish pod were to quote this show, what might they say?
Okay, so they're repeating something that someone on this show has said, right?
That is how a quote works. Yep, you got it.
Well, it's the first time I'm hearing the word quote and the definition of the word quote, so bear with me. I think they'd say, I don't know. What do you want me to say here?
Well, I don't know. Hell of an ass.
Hell of an ass.
That's a
Let's
quote.
go with that one.
You know, think about your merch line, your branding.
Yeah, which you can buy merch today at tennishpod.com/merch.
Well, this isn't an episode about the top 10-ish merch items online, although that might be a good list someday.
That might be a good idea, yeah.
I've brought the top 10-ish, actually the top 12 most liked quotes on Goodreads.
Liked. Okay.
These are quotes that people really enjoyed on the website Goodreads, so a bunch of fucking nerds, am I right?
Yeah, nerd alert.
We have talked about BuzzFeed quizzes in the past on the show, and you've talked about Ranker.com. I want to give you, this is wild. Number 1 today has 163,000 likes.
Wow.
That's a lot. 163,000 likes. Number 12, last on the list, 99,000.
Wow, so 99,000
everything we're
plus.
talking Everything we're talking about today is in between 99,000 and 163,000 likes. Now, I'm a fan of Goodreads. I like to read good books, but I've never once liked a quote, nor did I know that was an option.
Me either.
On the Goodreads website. So here we are. I don't know who these people are.
Tell the folks at home, what is Goodreads? Not all of us are fucking nerds like you, Buster, that use it. So what is the Goodreads app or site?
Well, it's when you read. It's when you read good. It's when you're real good at reading.
I hope to be good at reading someday.
Goodreads is a website. You might think of it like Yelp for books.
Yep.
So you go on there and you can browse by genres. You can browse by ratings. People use it to share with everyone else in the cosmos what they thought of books.
The cosmos, Buster?
Okay, planet Earth.
Thank you. I don't think our internet reaches the cosmos just yet.
Somewhat. Although with the Starlink satellites, they're now providing internet to like third world developing countries. I bet some aliens zipping on by. I'll pick up some Wi-Fi.
Third world countries, developing countries are on planet Earth still, and aliens zipping by probably have they have Wi-Fi that our minds can't even fucking comprehend. Their Pornhub they're instantly the Pornhub videos are
They got Wi-Fi
buffering.
popping out of their ass.
Yes. I agree.
Mainly, I think Goodreads is a good service if you're on the fence, you've heard some good things, some good accolades about a book, you're not sure whether or not you want to take the plunge,
Mm-hmm.
you look it up on Goodreads and see what other people had to say.
Okay. I think that's a fair summarization. I've used Goodreads in the past. I know what it is, but I don't frequently use it.
I don't either. I went through a phase where I tried to log and rate every book that I read, and eventually I realized I don't care, and it was kind of a waste of my time. So now I don't rate anything.
And shout out to today's sponsor, Goodreads.
That's
Not a
right.
waste of time is their new slogan.
We love your service. So as you might guess, trying to figure out what the top 12 quotes is
Impossible.
or what they are would be very difficult.
Yeah.
So I will give you a lot of leniency for guessing today. You can get the person, or you can even get in the general neighborhood. And I've kind of wrote down the general theme, the takeaway, or the subject of those quotes. And if you guess any of that, then I'll give it to you.
Are these all quotes pulled directly from a book?
No. As far as I can tell, only one of them are directly from a book.
So these are just quotes in general. They're not tied specifically to books, even though they're on the Goodreads platform.
Correct.
Okay.
Some of them I suspect have been spoken, but others might be in poetry, etc., but not all of them come from a book.
And how many of the top 12 are from this show, Tennis Podcast? Probably at least 3 or 4, right?
Oh, hold on, let me check. 0. Yep.
Okay. Well, that must be
Now I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But
I think our likable quotes have really diminished since around episode 160 or so, when we started getting a few doctors to be sidekick hosts.
it's a hot take, and I'm not going to touch that one. So, Nick, why don't you gander us a guess here? What might be on the top 12 most liked quotes on Goodreads of all time?
This is hard. Okay, so let me...
Think of some general sentiments that people put out in the universe a lot.
Okay, I don't know why I just thought of this one. It's not the size... How's it go? It's not the dog in the bark. How's that go? It's not the size of the dog.
Oh, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's something.
Yeah.
It's how much bite there is to the...
Who fucking knows?
Well, there's two of them, right? There's his bark doesn't match his bite.
Okay.
Something like that. So it's like talking the talk versus walking the walk.
Yeah.
And the other one's suggesting that you don't have to be big to be strong and powerful.
Right.
The size of the... Oh, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's what I was trying to say.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's not on there.
No, neither of those sentiments are on the top 12.
Thank you for wasting our collective time. But am I on the right track? Like a saying such as that is...
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of these are less common than that, but they get at real common sentiments, I think.
So this has kind of gone past a direct quote, but it may have originated with a quote. And that's something about the glass being half full or half empty.
Optimism. Interesting. Always trying to stay on the brighter side of life.
Well, speak for yourself.
Okay.
Aren't you the one that
I will
opened
go
this
ahead.
show with, I simply said Happy Thanksgiving, and you immediately tried to guilt trip every American based on our ancestral past? You're the optimistic one?
I wasn't guilt tripping anyone. I was just letting everyone celebrate freely no matter where they come from, whether their country's 10 years old or 1,000 years old.
Okay. I don't know if I buy that, but we can move on. So is there an optimistic quote?
There
close
is.
to-
I'm going to go ahead and give you number 7.
Okay.
And here is the quote. It's a long one, but the first part of the quote is the common sentiment.
How many butt references are in the quote? Just so we can prep.
Well, you shake your butt while you're dancing, so at least one. Here's the quote. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching. Love like you'll never be hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening. And live like it's heaven on earth. By William W. Perky.
Perky.
Don't say it. No jokes.
I won't. But that's a good quote. It really uplifted my soul, made me feel like life's worth living. I think I will be mean to my family less today because of that quote.
So one of the questions I have for you along with these quotes is, do you like it? Do you think it's a sound quote?
Before I answer that, do you have like a year that was spoken? Or
I don't.
Okay. So this
I thought about researching all the people and having some hashtag Busters Bullets about the people who made the quotes. But I thought, no, I want to stick with the quote itself and really debate the idea presented.
So you're lazy. Got it. You didn't want to put the work into the notes. Okay, understood.
Correct.
Not surprised, but I understand. So the quote itself, I think it's fine. I wouldn't get it tattooed on my body, but it's fine. It's basically a message of live life to the fullest. Would you agree?
Yeah, and resist the urge to validate the judgment of other people, which is far easier said than done. You got to dance like nobody's watching? Yeah, right. Why don't you get up there and do your first dance at your wedding and pretend nobody is watching? Like, it's really difficult to turn off that judgment center of our brain.
I was at your wedding last year, Buster, and you definitely danced like no one was watching. But too bad everyone was watching and elbowing each other, being like, you believe this fucking guy?
A whole lot of ass going on.
Yeah, so you like the quote?
I don't know. I would counteract this quote with easier said than done. I mean,
yeah.
Love like you'll never be hurt. That's easier said than done, brother. If you had your heart broken before, I mean, it's really difficult to just take those life lessons away.
And I can love to the full extent of my heart's capability and beyond. But if I stub my toe, it's still going to hurt, even if I'm in love while the toe is stubbed. Am I right?
That's pretty poetic.
Let's see how many likes we can get on that quote.
At least 2. You got to be in love even with the stubbed toe.
Oh, there, that's good. Okay, we'll take that one.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
And live like it's heaven on earth. Yeah. There's some element of intentional ignorance here that I don't know that I can get behind.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah, and also, to your point of easier said than done, well, what if I was born fucking without limbs and I live in a third world country and I can't walk to the well to get my water? That's not heaven on earth.
Yep.
Now you're just mocking me.
Yeah, hey, suck it up, Buttercup. Get to dancing.
Suck it up, Buttercup. We've talked a lot about dancing. I have another guess.
Okay.
Is there something about shaking what your mama gave you?
Shake what your mama gave you. See, that would be more like, kind of like make lemonade, right?
Oh, okay.
Like use what you've got.
Yep.
Let me see. That guess is kind of close to number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that because it's talking about the worst and the best of someone. And whether you think that big old dump truck you got hanging off the back of your legs is a blessing or a curse.
Yikes.
Really, it depends on how you look at it.
All right, tell me the quote.
And this is
Tell me the dump truck thing wasn't the quote. Because I'll be surprised if that's number 2.
I have a lot of problems with this quote.
All right.
So, I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes. I'm out of control and at times hard to handle. Here's the main line quote. But if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best.
Who said
Marilyn
this shit?
Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, okay.
159,000 likes. Here's my main gripe with that quote. That's basically saying I have the right to be an asshole to you, and if you can't deal with it, then fine. It's just excusing bad behavior.
I agree with the sentiment of like, not cool, but it's Marilyn Monroe, and she was at a point where she could do whatever she wanted, and she would get away with it. Well, I have a real fascination with Marilyn Monroe, but I agree that the quote is kind of used as a crutch in modern times. I see that quote used a lot.
Yeah, and it's usually like 16-year-olds who just went through a breakup, and they're like, Oh, he doesn't understand me. He couldn't handle me at my worst, baby. That you sure as hell don't deserve
Okay.
me.
There is not a teenager in the history of the cosmos, Buster, that has ever said that in that way. Baby. I think the spirit that she's getting at is like, I'm not perfect. If you can't handle me when I'm struggling and I'm upset or sad or mad, then you don't deserve me when I'm in a more ideal state of mind.
Right. I have seen this adapted very well to a meme with Kevin from The Office, and it shows if you can't handle me at my worst, and it shows him on the ground trying to scoop the chili back in. And then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best, and it's him with a toupee on.
That's so good.
But I also think of wedding vows, right? For richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health is kind of what this gets at.
Yeah. So I don't have as big of a problem with it as you do, but I understand the problem you have with it. But I'm also not a snooty asshole like you. I have a movie quote.
Okay.
Is there any quotes from films?
Films? I don't think so.
Okay.
If any of these are said in movies, I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, then I guess this won't be on here, but I was thinking, I'll be back. Arnold.
I'll be back.
I mean, it's so simple, but it's so famous.
This is true.
Yeah.
I think the community who like these quotes are a little bit more learned and...
No, so they're not listening to this show. Okay.
Any other guesses? What do you got next?
Let me get in a frame of mind. So I'm looking at these last two quotes.
I can give you a hint for 4 and 5.
Okay, give me a hint.
We're on the website Goodreads. What do you think some well-liked quotes might happen to be about?
About books.
All right. And what do you think the sentiment is about books?
Is there any quotes about books being kind of a escape journey?
Not about escape, but they see the inherent value in books. And so coming in at number 5, quote, "A room without books is like a body without a soul," by Marcus Cicero.
Well, bodies don't have souls. So what do you think about that, Cicero?
Yeah, there's a debate about the practicality of what was said versus the metaphor being used.
I think it's a good quote. I mean, again, I'm not going to tattoo it on my ass, but I think it has good intention and good meaning.
Do you have books in every room? Do you read books while you take a big old poopy?
I don't read in the bathroom.
Okay.
And this is where you would quote George saying, "Well, aren't you something?" I don't read in the bathroom, but you do?
I used to when I was a kid. My dad kept a stack of like Motor Trend, Car and Driver, so like car magazines, and the comics, the funny papers out of the weekly paper. That's what I read when I took a shit.
Well, this is all very enlightening.
Now people just use their phones.
It's true. I was thinking about this the other day because I think even people that wouldn't read in the bathroom do use their phone in the bathroom, right? Like I've used my phone in the bathroom. And just germs that are having a fucking dance party on everybody's phones at all times. And our phones are always with us. They're always in our hands. And we touch our phone and then touch our face. I don't know. Nobody wants to hear this shit, but
this is funny. I did not premeditate this talk about a bathroom, but a legitimate tennis quote from way back, like 3 years ago. Brandon brought some fact about how much bacteria flies in the air when you flush the toilet. Honest to God, ever since I've heard that quote, I put the toilet seat down before I flush because if I don't, I think about Brandon saying that and I imagine all the bacteria like flying up and hit me in the face.
Well, Brandon, for newer listeners, was the original sidekick host of this show, full-time sidekick host. And I'm sure he'd be thrilled to know that his toilet flushing germ facts are the most quotable things he said on the show.
That's right.
See, people, when they quote Nick from the Tennis Podcast, it's much more profound, poetic. When they quote Brandon, they're like, I close the shitter when I flush because I don't want the germs to get in my mouth.
That's right. They never bring up the licking machine for you.
Absolutely. So this quote about books, a room without books is like a body without a soul. So that was 5. Is number 4 the Kanye West book quote, which is, "I'm not a fan of books. I would never want a book's autograph." Is that number 4?
It's pretty close, but instead it is "So Many Books,
So Little Time?
So Little Time" by Frank Zappa.
That's my favorite so far.
So many books, so little time. Now,
Because
I think
it's
this is
true.
equal. Yeah, this is equal parts about literature and books and how wonderful they are, and it's equal. It's an equal comment on how short our lifespan is and how overwhelming it is. All the wonderful things you wish you could do, but you've only got one life.
It's true. I had a professor once in college that talked about like the research being done to extend human life. He was saying that like if human life was extended even 50 years, much less, more than that, how many more people would go get their doctorate because their life isn't as limited? How many people would pursue their dreams and take that big trip that they never will because life's too short? It's just kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah, we can get into a lot there. I'm planning a talk coming up about time management, and one of the points I'm going to make is that once you decide what you are going to do, it's like an active decision that you should rejoice that you've turned literally everything else in the world down. So how could you be unhappy in the moment? Because like that's what makes everything so special. That's what makes the sunset special, because you won't see this forever. And in the grand scheme of things, we have such little time that every day means so much. And if we were to live 200 years, maybe not, maybe so somewhat, things wouldn't mean as much. Every year wouldn't mean
I think
as
they still
much.
would, because living 200 years, if that became the new normal, then that would become the new normal. And 200 years would still not be enough time for humans of the next generation.
Sure.
But I want to rewind to something you said before, which is every decision, big or small, that you make should be rejoiced because you turn down every other choice for what to do at that time. So when I'm making some toast in the morning, I should rejoice that I'm not instead brutally killing the family next door, or that I'm not stepping on a nail, or that I'm not exploding.
Exactly.
I'm making toast instead.
But some people will decide, I'm going to stay at home for breakfast and make toast. And then while they're making toast, their brain is like, oh, I should have gone out to McDonald's. Oh, I should have gone for cereal. This is what people do. They do.
Yeah, you're right.
They wish they could do it all. And that's not realistic. And so they're miserable while they do what they should have done.
You can be miserable for other reasons too.
Well, yes, but we're trying
yeah.
to reduce misery here.
It's interesting. Time and human life, they don't go hand in hand. We don't have that long.
Yeah, but hearing you talk about it is not interesting. So why don't we go on to the next guest?
I'll agree with that.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code CHAMPION and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Sign up today and find out why nothing beats a win at the King of Sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter code CHAMPION and place your first wager risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Virginia only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-532-3500. Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Just Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host, Fondue.
And I'm just cheesy.
Are you ready for a second season of Just Cheesy the podcast?
Of course.
You want to learn a little bit about cheese history?
I do.
Do you want to find out about the latest cheese holidays?
Sure.
Do you want to hear about some cheese news?
How about a joke?
Why is cheddar the most dangerous of all the cheeses?
Why?
Because it's very sharp.
Get it sharp.
Join us for Just Cheesy the podcast,
Season 2.
All right. What about something about music?
Music. Okay, well, we had the booty shaking going on, the dance. Let's see, anything else about music?
Like, music really fucking
No.
moves my soul. I don't know.
No, sadly, there's nothing here about music.
What about there's nothing to fear except fear itself?
Comments on the nature of fear, not to fear things. Nope, no fear here.
Great. This is a great use of everybody's time. Listening to me struggle to get.
Well, that's why you're going to edit it.
There's been, today alone, in this day in 2022, there's been, 20 trillion things said by all the humans on Earth? And I'm trying to guess the top 12 of all time. So everyone, throw me a bone here. How about, is Mark Twain on this list?
Mark Twain is not on the list, which I was kind of surprised. He comes in right at number 13, so he didn't crack the top 10-ish here.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and give you number 6 here, because it's in the realm. Many people are afraid to say what's actually on their mind. Because of that fear, they don't say it. Number 6 is the antidote to that. Quote, "Be who you are and say what you feel. Because," and here's the main line, quote, "those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." Bernard M. Baruch.
I think it's a dumb quote. I've heard it before, but I think it's dumb.
Why is that?
Because it's not true. There's plenty of people that mind that also do matter. Let's say I'm of the opinion that Nick matters, and you might disagree, listener or Buster, but let's say we can
I disagree
for sake
wholeheartedly,
of
vehemently.
argument.
I disagree.
Let's say Nick matters, okay? Well, I also fucking mind if you say I don't matter. And for those that don't mind, they might not matter. I don't know. I think it's just untrue. I think it sounds
Right.
neat, but when you dissect it, it dies.
Here's the plot hole. I want to be who I am, so I stay up late, I drink 12 beers on a Friday night, and I forget everything I'm supposed to do on a Saturday as a significant other, as a good spouse. Well, my wife matters, and she definitely might mind, you know?
Yeah.
It's like she matters, and she's going to mind that I'm hungover and I was selfish with my entire weekend when we had all these plans together.
All right. Now, is this based on a true story?
No, that's hypothetical.
Okay. We'll have to check with the witness. But I agree. I think it's just nonsense. It's a nonsense quote. It's just something that sounds nice. And I get that the thought is like, don't care about what other people think of you. Right.
That's
Yeah.
what we come back to, which I think it's kind of 3 different quotes on here, but said in different ways. There's so many different ways to say, don't be afraid to be who you are.
Yeah.
There's actually 4, because I can take it to another one that says the exact same thing.
Let's go do that one.
Which really is, I don't know, it really has me thinking, like, why is it such on the human collective conscious to stop trying to be someone you're not?
Because that's the human condition, is to seek the approval of people around you. That is built into the human DNA, is we want to feel accepted, we want to feel liked, and so we're constantly worrying about what other people think of us. Whereas a lot of these quotes are saying, to go against human nature, go against your own instincts, don't worry what others are thinking about you, and just do you, baby. As those teens would say.
That's right. But when read the wrong way, it comes back to the Marilyn Monroe quote. This really feels like a free ticket to do exactly what I want. And if you got a problem with it, that's your prerogative.
That's your problem now.
Yes, which I don't agree with. So I mentioned it, and it brings us all the way up here to number 1.
Oh, wow.
at 163,581 likes.
Everyone write that down. We don't want to forget that number. It's going to come back on the quiz.
I got a real bone to pick with this one.
Uh-oh.
I got 2 bones to pick with it. But here's the quote. I'll get your take on it first, even though your take doesn't matter because you don't matter.
I don't mind.
Oh, you might mind. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Oh, I like that one.
Oscar Wilde.
Okay, so you want my take before you give your takes.
I'm just being real kind. It's not like I'm really going to listen. I want to let you go first.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like it because it is true, technically. Everyone else is already taken. There's only one you. Unless you're, even if you're a identical twin, there's still just one you. Until you're cloned, which may happen someday, if it's not already happened secretly in a lab somewhere, there's only one you in all of history.
Everyone else is not taken. Because in all the history of all the humans who have ever lived, there's some combination of personality that has never existed yet.
Everyone else that's available is already taken. I can't be Dr. Buster, and thank God for that. And Dr. Buster can't be Nick. We're both taken.
Sure, yes, but exactly who I am today, if I changed 2 little aspects of myself, I'd be different. That person's not taken. That person is out there hypothetically yet to exist. I don't have to be Jeff.
You're taking this way too literally because it's saying that your personality, your genetic makeup, there's only one you. And so don't try to be like someone else. Just try to be you because you can't be them and they can't be you.
It's not sound advice for who I should be, though. It just isn't.
Sure.
Okay, be myself. Who am I?
Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer should not be himself.
Exactly. Oh, okay, I'm seeing this. My name's Adolf Hitler. I guess I'll be myself. Everybody else is already taken.
Well, and in Jeffrey Dahmer's case, I'm watching the Netflix series right now, so this is top of mind. But Jeffrey Dahmer, this quote does not apply to him because A, he should not be himself. He should be anyone else. But B, the second part of the quote is everyone else is already taken. Well, that's not true because Dahmer takes them against their will and zombifies them. So Jeffrey Dahmer is proving that this quote is not all it's cooked up to be at first glance. I'm coming around on your position on this.
Like, yes, I get it. Everyone's probably like, gosh, Buster is such a negative ass Nelly. He's just tearing down everyone else's words.
Preach.
But
how many quotes do you have in the top 12, Buster?
We are talking about words here, so the words do matter. And I just wish there was a little bit more substance to it because especially if you're a teenager and you're going through a lot and you're trying on different hats, you're trying to get your identity together, this is not helpful. It's just like everyone else is already taken. Okay, I don't want to be my cousin. I'm not going to be my grandpa. I'm not going to be the cross guard. Got it. I'm going to be me. Who am I? Who should I be? Because there is a right way and a wrong way. There are unethical things to be, and there are ethical things to be. This is the top quote, so I'm going at it extra hard. It doesn't give you any steering wheel as to who you should be.
I don't disagree with any of that, but let's keep in mind this is 7 words. You can't put every caveat on every quote ever, or else every quote would be 8 paragraphs long. So if you're taking less the literal meaning of the words and more so the spirit and the intention behind the quote, that's something, right? There's something there.
I agree.
Okay. So then what are we talking about?
I just like debating the tenets of a good quote.
No, that's why we're here for. I mean, there wouldn't be a show if we weren't doing that. But I like this quote. Don't know if it belongs at number 1. I'll save it till the end, my favorite quotes.
Okay.
I have a quote, which is, I am who I am, and that's all that I am.
That's pretty good. It's not on here.
Okay, so this probably won't be on here either because it's a specific scenario, but what about one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind?
Ooh, see, that's possible, right? We're making some huge progress. That is not on the list, though.
How's this quote go? I'm going to butcher it, but don't make perfection the enemy of good, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. I've heard the phrase a lot lately that the enemy of good is better, right? Yes.
Yeah.
It's anti-perfectionism.
So not on there?
I would say not on there, no.
What about this one? Well, if the boot fits.
All right, so if the shoe fits, wear it.
Is that on
Yeah,
it?
if it's the right fit for you, no, it's not on there.
How about pull my finger?
That is on here. All right, I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
Number 9 was paraphrased popularly by Drake, the rapper.
Oh, I'm not going to get this.
And kids will always attribute this to Drake.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know any Drake shit. So what is it?
There's a 4-letter abbreviation to say the first part. Kids.
What would Jesus do? I don't know. What would Drake do? I don't know.
One might say YOLO.
Oh, YOLO. Okay, you only live once.
The quote is, at 113,000 likes, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
Yeah, I think this is a good quote. Do you have some random bone to pick with it too?
Listeners may be surprised, but no. This is one that I like. I could get this tattooed as a tramp stamp. I mean, it's like...
Stamp. On top of your other tramp stamp.
I have no bones. You do only live once. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Wait, you have no bones? Are you okay?
Okay, but if you do it right, once is enough. I mean, I can't disagree.
It's profound. Uh-huh.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it too.
That quote was by Mae West.
Listener of the show.
There's so much there.
You're saying a lot in one sentence, and that goes what you were saying a minute ago about number 1, which was be yourself,
7
everyone
words.
else is already taken. We talked for a minute about how you can't lay out every caveat to every quote in a quote, or it'd be too long. But this one, number 9, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. You're saying a ton in 12 words.
The people who would argue, well, once is never enough, is evidence that you didn't do it right.
But how do you know if you did it right until you live your whole life? And then once you realize it's not been right, well, it's too fucking late.
Well, I think part of that is doing self-reflection along the way and not just waiting until you're grasping for your last bits of air and being like, oh my God, I should have never done that when I was 20 years old.
Self-reflection.
Yes.
Sounds like hippie shit to me.
Check in with yourself along the way.
Yeah. You're right. And I
then
think
Drake came along and said, YOLO, but y'all already know the motto.
Is he the one that popularized YOLO in the modern age?
I don't know. There's probably people making fun of me right now who are listening who are like, Drake didn't even say that.
I think people have been making fun of you since we hit record today. But
since 2000 BCE.
Yeah, so is this the only quote so far you would get tramp stamped?
So far, yes. Although I do like the books one.
Yeah, that one's, well, there's 2 books one.
I think the one I prefer is so many books, so little time.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good time to break and do a quick recap of where we stand.
All right. Number 9, YOLO. Number 7, dance like nobody's watching. Number 6, be who you are because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. Number 5, a room without books is like a body without a soul. Number 4, so many books, so little time. Number 2, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best, baby. And number 1 is be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. You're missing 12, 11, 10, 8, and 3.
What about this one? I know this is one of your favorites. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Ooh, I do like that one. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Yeah.
So
let's just hope that squirrel doesn't find your nuts. It's in for a rude surprise.
Especially this time of year when they're hoarding them and snatching them up and collecting them, getting ready for winter.
Yeah.
Lose your testicles.
Yes, to just put it extremely bluntly. You're right. That's what I was getting at.
We talked last time we recorded that you should be worried about chimpanzees because when they attack a rival chimp, they go for 2 parts of the body, the face and the testicles.
Yep.
What we should really be worried about is the squirrels mistaking us for a couple of acorns.
We better hope that squirrels never smarten up and join together to rebel against the human race, because them motherfuckers can get in your attic like it's nothing. And then once they're in the attic, if they're smart enough, they can make their way down to your bed, crawl up, and not just nibble at your balls, but snatch them away and steal them. Before you know it, you got trees outside full of human balls stuffed into the squirrel homes. The squirrel, what do you call them? Nests? I don't know.
Speaking of good books, I'm hearing the next thriller that is going to become a New York Times bestseller. I love this.
Yeah, for someone out there that will surely write a book based on this, make sure you credit 10ish Podcast. All right, well, should I give another guess?
Well, I'm going to map what you guessed onto could be a comment about stupidity, that even people who are not smart will eventually say something correct. Coming in at number 3, 141,000 likes. Quote, 2 things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Albert Einstein.
I love that quote. But aren't we sure about the universe by that point? That it's infinite?
I mean, I think so.
So he's just being cheeky.
Yeah, I think it's more of a tongue-in-cheek.
That's good.
I mean, let's be honest. Albert Einstein, did he know anything? Wasn't he was he a chef or something?
I'd have to get back to you because I'm really not sure. I barely recognize the name.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of mad at myself I didn't guess Einstein earlier. He has a lot of good quotes, and I'm glad he made it on this list.
Yeah, I always enjoy his sentiments about creativity being more important than intellect. And I think that's huge coming from someone in the STEM field who has a lot of intellect.
Yeah, but on the flip side, it's like, okay, Albert, easy for you to fucking say. You got intellect
Right.
out the ass. The rest of us are just trying to keep up.
It's like a billionaire being like, hey, guys, money doesn't matter.
Yeah. Money don't grow on trees. Is that a quote on here?
Money don't grow on trees, bub, is not a quote.
Damn. Yeah, Albert, he said that, and it's good. I like this one. Do you like this one?
I like it. It's fun.
It's the cheekiest on here, for sure.
He's coming in all cheeked up. I mean, this is double cheek.
If anyone knows about cheeks, it's Dr. Buster.
That's right.
One came to mind here. I think there's more to it than this, but the key part is life, death, and taxes.
Oh, yeah. Only 3 things in life are certain.
Yeah.
No, it's 2. Death and taxes.
Death and taxes, that might be it. Yeah.
No, but when you're restricting a life lesson to a couple of words, you have landed yourself square in the middle of number 11. Number 11. Quote, in 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost.
Say it again.
In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Robert McFrosty.
Oh, I wonder if he's related to Robert Frost, the poet. I think that one's okay. I don't know. I don't love it.
If that's all you've learned about life, I would be like, that's it?
Literally, like if you ask him anything, he can only respond with "life goes on." That's all he's learned. That's all he's learned how to speak.
Well, it just keeps going.
Is he trying to say here, like, don't sweat the little stuff, life goes on? Or is he trying to say life moves on without you, whether you like it or not?
Maybe both, actually.
I like the latter better.
It marches on no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you are worried about everything 24/7, whether you don't care, whether you try to be yourself, whether you're not, whether you mean something, whether you're big shit, whether you don't mean anything, it goes on.
Until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. Yeah, life goes on until you're 6 feet under. Because I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. That's not even about being 6 feet under. That's
maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. See, you always try to get Brandon to sing. I'm willing to sing.
But the thing is, everybody wanted Brandon to sing, sensually sing Santa Baby. No one's asking for you or Creed to sing. And I did not expect Creed. Is there any Creed quotes in the top 12?
Yeah, it's actually tied for number 1.
Have you ever thought about 6
No.
feet under? You made me think that, like, how many humans have lived in human history? Billions?
At
Maybe
least-
trillions? I don't
Probably
know.
20, 30.
Yeah, at least today, right? They're all underground.
Yeah, right? That's a lot of bones.
I mean, they decompose and shit, but I don't know. Just the earth is so big, it's got room for all those dead bodies.
I think about that when I drive by cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath there's just a ton of skeletons.
I have a hot take, and maybe this will, I don't even know, maybe this will offend people, but I think burying people should kind of be phased out, and we should just cremate everyone for efficiency's sake.
And eat them, or?
Well, yeah, I didn't think I needed to spell that out, but yes, you'd also
Sure.
eat them afterward. The ashes. But I just think, like, I don't know, it's a whole industry now about
Right.
funeral and burying people. And I know people listening might like to bury their loved ones because then they can go visit the grave, but it's just not very practical when you think about it.
You're talking about like the limited space we have, how much space graveyards take up, plus the casket and
Yep.
everything. Yeah. I don't disagree, you know. I don't know that I could get behind like officially sanctioning moving on. Maybe culturally it's time, but
Yeah, I don't know. There you go. There's Nick's thoughts for the day. Shrinkage. Man hands. Serenity now! What is the most widely used Seinfeldism in the modern age? In our new bonus episode, we revealed the top 10 most used Seinfeld references in everyday language. It's me and fellow Seinfeld superfan Calvin. Calvin is the host of the Magic Number is 3 when it comes to TV podcast. Join me and Calvin as we nerd out over Seinfeld and talk about the background and modern usage of Seinfeldisms that have penetrated, oh baby, pop culture. You can listen to this exclusive bonus episode right now at tennispod.com/plus or on Apple Podcast. If you are an Apple Podcast listener, you listen on your iPhone on the Apple Podcast app, go to our page on Apple, tap the Try Free button at the top of our page, and you will unlock a free 7-day trial of TennisPod Plus. Members also get ad-free versions of our main episodes, like the one you're listening to right now. It all starts at just $2 per month. You can sign up in minutes at tennispod.com/PLUS or on the Apple Podcast app. Giddy up.
Hi, human. Welcome to the God Pod. I'm God, and like Jesus, I'm hanging in there.
If you like interviews with the most interesting people alive or dead, then you'll love the God Pod.
Here's me talking to Mary Trump about her crazy uncle.
I knew he was going to be disastrous.
And here's me debating a real live atheist.
You really cannot make the case that this is a good book.
I discuss all the latest current events down on Earth.
Find the God Pod wherever you get podcasts.
The God Pod. Have it, Yahweh.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
I have a guess. And again, I'm going
Okay.
to butcher this, but it's something about absolute power corrupts absolutely.
ooh,
Do you know the one I'm thinking of?
I like that. I think you nailed the quote. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely very wrong, but also absolutely very close to number 12.
Number 12.
They get
all right.
to the same sentiment about power.
Well, let's hear it.
No, I refuse. Number 12.
With great power comes great responsibility from Spider-Man's uncle.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben, yeah.
No. But this is in the nerd realm. This one is, I know, comes from a book because I know exactly what book it comes from. Quote, if you want to know what a man is like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. By J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
It's a good quote, but I guess women get a free pass on this. Only men could be looked at for how they treat their inferiors.
Well, it probably, I don't really know what to.
I got her.
You
Gotcha, JK. This one, I mean, I like this one. I think it's good.
It's a less efficient way of saying absolute power corrupts absolutely, but
Yeah. It's not tramp stamp worthy, but it's still good.
the sentiment is definitely pure. I mean, when people are put in a position of power, if they change and they act unethically, then that's what they're always, that's what's underneath. That's what they would do. with their own devices.
Yeah. It's also saying how you treat those less fortunate or less powerful than you is a better reflection of your character than how you treat your peers or your equals.
Yeah.
It's powerful stuff. Which, did you say Goblet of Fire?
Yep.
Which one is that? Like number-wise?
4.
You were my 4th choice for sidekick host today. You're just the only one available.
Okay, behind who?
Literally the first 3 people I saw today. Just random anybody. My kid, my neighbor, the neighbor's dog.
The local waste management crew comes by and you're out there like, hey, I don't know what time this whole thing wraps up for you all, but do you know what a podcast is? Really need a sidekick host, and I really think y'all would do a good job.
And you know what they said to that? Before they answered, they said, Mr. Nick, can we get your autograph first?
Oh, sure. Right.
But they had to make their way through the groupies and paparazzi first, and before they could answer me.
Right, and past security, and then they bent down, kissed your feet exactly 12 times, well, 10-ish times, and then they accepted your offer.
You got it exactly right, other than they weren't kissing my feet, am I right?
Oh.
All right, I think I just need 10 and 8, right?
10 and 8, you got it. Number 10. Let's hone in on this old...
The sea was angry that day, my friends, like an old man returning soup in a deli.
This man is old in all the pictures people take. He's a tiny little man.
Tiny little man.
He was a pacifist, refused to engage in active, aggressive combat.
Oh, Gandhi?
Used his words instead. We are looking at Mahatma Gandhi. Number 10, coming in at 111,000 likes. I remember typing this quote out, printing it, and hanging it up in my room because that's the type of shit I did in high school.
It's true, folks. I can confirm.
I cringe when I think about that I used to do that. Folks, for everyone listening, I used to type out words, probably about 14 size font on a Word document. I'd print out multiple quotes, and then I'd cut them all up with scissors. So you'd have these white strips of paper with black text quote. I would hang those sons of bitches all over my room. It looked awful, but I loved it.
And that's why when you walked into Buster's room and saw those pieces of paper everywhere, you knew those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
So the quote here at number 10, be the change you wish to see in the world.
That's a good one.
It's a very good one. I love the sentiment.
Classic.
It's a classic. It's right as rain. I mean, if you want to see a change, don't talk about it. Do it. Be it. I mean, how many people will tweet all day about something that they don't actually do? You know, it's walk the walk. Don't talk it. Be it. Serve as a role model. Do it yourself before you expect it from somebody else.
Yeah, and it really helped solidify this quote into the collective unconscious of humankind because of how sexy Gandhi was when he said it.
He really was, yeah. A lot of people, when they hit that hormone surge in puberty, they might have touched themselves on accident and they're starting to get curious and they start to think, maybe I need to be the change I wish to see in the world because I'm thinking about Gandhi all the time and I'm changing.
Man, you really ran with that.
And hypothetically speaking, as not anecdotal, personal story at all.
They accidentally touched themselves was a part of your story, which is good. That's how you know it's a good story. Yeah, well, I think this is good. This is one of the top 3 quotes of the day, I think.
There's actually there's 12 presented here today.
Okay.
I don't know if you were listening, but...
Fuck you.
All right, all you got left is number 8.
Number 8. How about this? If you ain't first, you're last.
I love it. I love at the end of the movie Talladega Nights, he backpedals that and he's like, well, hell, I was drunk when I said that. You could be 3rd, 4th, 5th. Hell, you could be 6th.
It's true, because it's such a powerful quote at first, but it also breaks down very quickly when you start to analyze it.
Much like some of the quotes on today's list.
Number 8, do I know is the person who said it well known?
You do know the person. Especially as a father yourself, this individual.
Was it Brandon's toilet thing?
It's not Brandon's toilet thing.
Okay.
This person wrote many books loved and adored by people of all ages, but especially children.
It's Dr. Seuss.
It is a Dr. Seuss quote. One I'm not familiar with, but it is the only one on the list, surprisingly to me. It's the only one on the list that refers to love.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me? I don't know.
That's pretty close. There's so many quotes on here about being yourself. I wish there were a couple more quotes high up on the list about loving other people, not just yourself. But hey, that's America. We're such individualists.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving again, everybody.
All right.
What's the quote?
Number 8, quote, "You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams." Dr. Seuss.
I gotta tell you something. I don't know if it's just me or if everyone's like this, but 9 out of 10 of my dreams are not better than my reality.
No, they're awful.
Yeah. They're awful.
I'm always late to something. I don't know if did I share this in a previous episode that I have a recurring dream that class is starting and I haven't prepared anything?
It's a very, very common, and I don't have dreams like that. I've never had a recurring dream that I remember, but I know a lot of people do. But
most of your stuff is like running late or being disorganized or you forgot something.
Right. Most of my dreams have to do with peanut butter and water, but I won't go there. I think this quote kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's so many better, more elegant ways to encapsulate the meaning of love and how powerful it is.
Yeah.
Than just saying that you're going to have insomnia, because enough of us have insomnia as it is. I don't need to equate that with being in love.
I don't think it's a bad quote. I just think there's better quotes. For sure, in all of human history, something about love is better than this one.
Right.
But we're not learned book reader nerds like
hey, I'm loving it.
Ba-da-bum-bum-ba. I like that better.
Can't get better than that.
We got to do, and I'm serious about this, we got to do like the top 10-ish like slogans, like advertising slogans. I'll bet I'm loving it's up there.
Yeah, it could be most common slogans or most easily recognized.
Yeah, why don't you leave the list to me, bub?
Okay. All right.
All right, well.
So there you have it, folks.
I did
There's the top 12.
Go back through them, and then I'll tell you my top 3 at the end.
Okay. I'm going to do this because I chose to, not because you just demanded me to do so. This is actually what I was thinking was coming next anyway, so.
Great.
I'll paraphrase some of the longer ones here. Number 12. Please. If you want to know what a man is like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing. You said, if you want to know what a man is like, take a good look. And I said, at his dick?
That was by J.K. Rowling. Number 11. In 3 words, I sum up everything I've learned. It goes on, by Robert Frosty. Number 10. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Gandhi. Number 9. YOLO. But if you do it right, once is enough. Mae West. Number 8. You know you're in love because you can't fall asleep. Number 8 was by Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, dance like nobody's watching. William Perky. Wonder how Perky was feeling when he said
His
that.
name disqualifies him. I mean, he shouldn't even be on this list because of that.
Number 6, be who you are because those who mind don't matter. Bernard Baruch. Number 5, a room without books is like a body without a soul. Marcus Cicero. Number 4,
heavy.
So many books, so little time. Number 3, 2 things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. Einstein. Number 2, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best, baby. Marilyn Monroe. And number 1, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde.
All right, I'm going to give my top 3, and then you give me your top 3. These are the top 3 you'd most likely put as a tramp stamp tattoo on your body.
All right.
And I'm going to go in reverse, so 3, 2, 1. So number 3 for me is so many books, so little time. Number 2 is be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And number 1, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
There you go. You and I have the same top choice for tramp stamp. So I'm hearing matching tramp stamps for this quote. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. My second favorite is Be the Change That You Wish to See in the World. And also my number 3, so many books, so little time.
We had the same 1 and 3. Different number 2.
We did.
If we, tell you what, how many, let's see, if we get 50 new Tennis Pod Plus members this week, me and Buster will get matching tramp stamps at the same time. What do you think,
I don't
Buster?
know if I can agree. Maybe matching semi-temporary, like the ones that last 6 weeks.
No, permanent tramp stamps. All right, so Buster, are you living life to the fullest more so now than you were prior to reading all these inspirational quotes?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Every quote was optimistic and positive.
Except for talking that there's no end to human stupidity.
You know what one of my favorite quotes is?
No, but I'm about to.
It actually comes from Charles Manson.
Well, this is some good insight to your personality and your role models.
Look down at me and you see a fool. Look up at me and you see a god. Look straight at me and you see yourself.
Interesting.
I've always liked that. Now, I don't like the speaker, the man.
Sure.
But it's a good quote.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's a healthy discussion to be had about, can you separate the quote from the person who did it? Because so many people shudder at using a quote by someone who had, a less than perfect reputation, especially someone from history.
I think there's something to that. And I mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer earlier, and one of his quotes that I also live my life by is, and that's when the cannibalism started.
Yeah. Yeah. That Charles Manson quote, it's really about perspective. How you see people and how you treat them really depends on how you compare your own status and how you judge them.
In that moment, too.
But if you can resist, and see, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the profound bit about that to me is, if you can resist judging other people, you see yourself in everyone.
Yeah.
We could have so much more empathy and forgiveness for everyone if we saw ourselves in everyone we met.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, I'm always right, so.
No. But I want the listeners, first of all, I want to thank them for listening. Thank you. Secondly, I want to say we want to know what quotes were your favorites from the ones we covered today, but also the quotes we didn't cover, maybe, kind of your quote-unquote Charles Manson quote like I brought. What are quotes that some of your favorites that we did not touch on? On social media this week, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, we're going to be posting all week. You can follow us there at TennishPod. I'm going to put links in the show notes. But go follow us on social and comment on our posts. Let us know what your favorite quotes are and your least favorite. Buster.
Nick.
You got a big ol' ass.
Okay. I'm going to leave you with this question. It seems to me in life, as you go through time, certain turns of phrase will pop up and you'll notice that you hear a phrase a lot in a given period of time. It just kind of comes out of the woodwork and then it disappears later.
I know what you mean.
Has there been a phrase you've heard a lot lately or used a lot lately?
You're putting me on the spot, so I can't really think of one, but I know what you mean to where, like, you've never even thought of this word or phrase before. It was never even a part of your life, and then you hear it once, and after you hear it that one time, you start seeing and hearing it everywhere.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Mine lately is, there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
I said that recently on a show. Maybe that fed into that.
I feel like I've heard that 10 times in the last month.
That's because you are me, and I am you.
Well, I'm always interested in quotes, sayings, turns of phrase, vernacular in general. And I think, is there no less grotesque way to say there's more than one way to do something? You have to say there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat? Are we fucking kidding?
It's not even true. There's like maybe 3 ways to skin a cat.
Right, yeah.
Not that I would know.
Could have come up with something else, but I digress.
Yeah. You right. Well, what's also right is we're done here. This has been episode 196. Thanks again for listening. I am going to be back next week with Dr. Shiloh. We're going from one doctor to another, although this one's an actual real doctor with some credibility and respect. Dr. Shiloh from the LA Not So Confidential podcast will be back with me next week. She is bringing a list for me to guess. And Buster, you'll be back in a few weeks too for episode 199. So we can all start praying for that. Praying to help us get through it.
That'll be over as fast as humanly possible. Yeah.
Yep. All right, I'm Nick. He's Buster. I'll see you next time.
Adios.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Grab the perfect get-up-and-go breakfast for you and your crew. Right now, 2 soft and fluffy, fully loaded sausage burritos are just $3 on the $1, $2, $3 menu. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.